All right, and welcome to today's episode of the Builder Series. Joining me is Felipe Montes, the co-founder and CEO of Kravata. Kravata is a Latin American-based crypto-as-a-service company with its headquarters in Colombia. Can't wait to visit, actually. Was just telling him this. As the first company of its kind in Latin America, it aims to enable any business operating in the region to launch compliant solutions in a fast and low-cost manner through their app, website, via simple API integration. Their first solution is a B2B on and off ramp in local currency. We'll talk more about this and more. Felipe, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Sam. It's great to be here.
It is. Felipe, I love to start off with trying to understand, the story, right? So give us a brief history of how Kravata came to be and what inspired its creation.
Yeah, so Kravata was founded in 2022 by Juliana and myself, and actually we are siblings, because we had the vision of eliminating the friction between Web3 use cases building in the region and the complex geopolitical fragmentation of LATAM. So in Latin America, every country has its own KYC requirements, regulations, incumbents, and a very old payment system, which is not connected. So we saw the opportunity to bring infrastructure to solve that problem, but leveraged by blockchain technology and, of course, digital assets. So we recognize the growing demand for accessible, compliant, and reliable blockchain solutions on the business side. And that's why we were motivated to create this company to build rails for connecting financially the region.
I want to go on two different directions. I think I'll start first. You mentioned your background in regulations and working in the public sector a bit. What role do you see local regulations tied in with and regional economy playing in shaping your strategy?
I think this is a right timing for LATAM because 2 years ago, we didn't know where this was going, really. The countries were looking at it, but we got El Salvador getting first into the pool. So I think that was interesting. But now we have Brazil already approved their crypto law. They are tokenizing real world assets from the government. They are launching their digital real, which is the DREX. They are also doing many DeFi projects by the central bank. So that's great news because at the end, we have the most important economy in Latin America leading the crypto adoption. And that's great for USDC.
Did you just say central bank doing DeFi? Wow. I never thought I'd hear that.
They launched a sandbox last year. So different companies can develop protocols over the digital currency layer that they have. So basically, they want to start to develop the use cases of the digital real, of the DREX, with different protocols. But the idea is that they have this protocol layer. So they have the settlement layer, which is the layer of the digital currency. And then on top of that, the protocol layer. And on top of that, the application layer. So that's where businesses will start to offer those services. And then they have the aggregation layer, which will be the as-a-service businesses and the marketplaces of services. But that's very interesting, a government doing this. And then you have also Mexico and Chile that already approved the fintech law, where there are already virtual asset service providers, paragraphs in there that already are looking to make registries, KYC requirements, etc. But that's good news because now you can officially be a virtual asset service provider in those countries. And then you have Colombia, which this year we got almost approved our crypto law, but it didn't get it at the end. But next year, the government is proposing it again with some modifications. But it's good news. It's just a matter of time. Colombia will also have we also have our own crypto regulations. And then you have Argentina, which is right now having a large change, but at the same time with a very bullish bet on crypto, apparently. And then you have even countries like Bolivia, where crypto was forbidden, now they are looking on how to switch it back to being to regulated. So I think the region and for Kravata is very good news because we're a LATAM company. We're looking actually to get into every jurisdiction and connect them, all of them, for on and off ramps in a single API stack. So any business can come, plug our API stack, and have every jurisdiction available for on and off ramps. So that it's very good news for us. Yeah.
Nice. That's a part of the story that I haven't really heard much of is you leveraging USDC as a way to really help strengthen that inter-Latino, businesses, that ability for, businesses to work together within LATAM more efficiently and stronger. That's interesting to learn.
Sure. For example, let's imagine these payroll companies that are used to hire people from one country when your company is from another country, which is kind of common right now with digital nomads and also streamers and this kind of labor force that is all around the world, developers, etc. So when you connect two companies, one is that payroll company, two, the company that is hiring these kind of persons. At the end, it's very interesting that you can settle the payments from the company that is hiring to this intermediary payroll company using already USDC to be able to connect both of them. And then from that company, they can disperse either local currency to the persons in the jurisdiction where they are working from, or also they can even just disperse to them also USDC. So at the end, you can get a full flow of funds that is just settled in the same ecosystem, and you don't need to be integrating with more and more financial institutions, fees, intermediaries, and old-fashioned rails that at the end, the problem is that they are locally different. But the real challenge there is that because in every LATAM jurisdiction, you have different KYC requirements, you need a company like Kravata that is taking the heavy lift of doing all that local compliance and having the local banking relations and also the connection with liquidity providers such as Circle to be able to intermediate the whole flow of funds within a compliant way locally. If you don't do that, at the end, the payment methods that you can choose when this user or this worker wants to really off-ramp their money, their USDC to local currency, will be capped by traditional peer-to-peer markets or credit cards. And at the end, this is expensive in the case of credit cards and a lot of fraud involved also. But in the peer-to-peer, also very risky. So that's why we think that our synergy with Circle is great.
Nice. I've been real fortunate working at Circle and under the leadership of our developer and ecosystem director, or VP, Sandra Person, who has really made it a focus for us to, look at the community growth and use that as our guide to where we should, put our focus. What I've seen, over this year is that there's a strong growth and culture of innovation within LATAM, within all these various LATAM American markets. What is it that you feel that, not just USDC, but blockchain technology has opened up and that so many appear to understand this opportunity and are seizing it?
Yeah, I think blockchain technology has been the response to the necessity of a globalization process on the financial systems. So I think when globalization started, 30 years ago or more, or maybe, 30 something. So the different systems started to interconnect. For example, we changed the way we were sending letters to people via email. We also sent the way we were communicating. We changed it, we switched to internet. And one of the last systems to enter that trend was the financial one. And I think that blockchain technology at the end is a way to reduce the friction between different geographically geographically places that are far, but in the blockchain, they can be very close. And it was a reliable and immutable and secure way to create transaction ledgers. So at the end, for me, it's a response to that. But I think that the challenges, and that's also a part of Vitalik's concerns, is that we need to create a very good, secure, and interoperable system, but at the same time, without having too many problems with the digital identity. And I think that when you have compliant companies like Circle, like Kravata, etc., you are taking care of that identity of people. You're taking care about preserving and respecting the privacy, and also by not putting people in risk when using those systems. And I think that's a very important dimension of how, and I also think that's very important for Latin America, because in Latin America, because of our story, we have a lot of compliance issues in the region and risky transactions occurring and a lot of informality. So if you introduce systems that are protecting people against that, there is a huge opportunity for businesses to develop on top of those systems.
So it sounds like it. And talking about your API stack, I was curious if you wouldn't mind if you can share with the audience a demo of what Kravata offers as a service.
Sure. So how Kravata works is that we are a B2B solution for on and off ramps. So basically, the client comes to Kravata. We conduct the KYC, KYB process where they need to provide all the registry documentation and plus the information on the business, plus a wallet. So we can whitelist those wallets so they can on and off ramps from their wallets with us. So there are three ways a client can interact with Kravata's infrastructure. So because we are in LATAM, we need from the less sophisticated channels to the more sophisticated one. The less sophisticated channel is through Telegram. So basically, once the client gets approved, they can start to have transactions with us through Telegram. And basically, they receive quotes and they can just start to on and off from there. The second way is a web app that we have available in our website with the calculator where they can do simulations, and basically they just can do the on and off ramps from that platform. And the third one, which is the most sophisticated one in terms that it's more dev to dev solution, is the API I'm going to show you. So it's the one we are most excited by, because it's the one that we think that might lead to a real creation of an ecosystem over time. So basically, how Kravata's API works is that our clients, what they need just to do is, like in other API systems, to download Postman. So by downloading Postman, they can have all the access to Kravata's functions, repositories in the terminal. So once they download the Postman, they can import the Kravata API repository. The second thing they can do is to log in after they onboard. We provide to them API keys, so basically they can log in to the infrastructure after they got Postman downloaded, so they can start to use the features. So of course that login is a traditional login. They just need the API tokens, the credentials that we gave to them, which are basically 2 tokens, an access token and a refresh token. After that, the clients, they can start registering their bank account. So for doing that, they just need to go to the function, which is get account bid, and the bank accounts are customized. So they are already available with the names of the banks that are, for example, in this case, in Colombia. So they just need to use that endpoint to obtain the IDs of the banks. And with that, they just need to fill in the account holder data, nickname, and the previously acquired ID of the bank, the type of account, and the number. And after that, which is what the the video is showing, then the bank account gets added to the infrastructure and created into the system. So in that way, with the bank account or register, either to receive or send the funds, the fiat from, the next step is, of course, the other side of the equation, which is the crypto side. So basically for that, the clients can register a digital wallet. So for doing that, the clients will just need to look in the digital wallet folder of the API to write down which kind of custodian is it. So because of compliance reasons, we differentiate if it's a custodian or non-custodial wallet, but they can do both. We just need the information for compliance purposes. And then after that, they just need to write down which is the address of the wallet. It's important to know that Kravata's infrastructure, it's available for different blockchains. We are receiving ERC20, Ethereum, Polygon, Avalanche, Solana, etc. We are a multi-blockchain platform. So after they do that, our users can already have their wallet whitelisted. So what's really happening on the back end, it's once the user introduce the wallet, then this information goes directly to our compliance team. And in real time, our compliance team is conducting the whole check for that wallet using all our compliance suite to understand if there are risky behaviors associated with the wallet or not. For that, we have a whole compliance process and scripts. And after, if the wallet does not get into any risk behavior classified as risky, so then the wallet gets whitelisted in a couple of minutes. So after that, the client can do the simulations for doing the on and off ramp from the bank account and the wallet that are whitelisted. And for doing that, basically the client needs to go to the simulation folder, and then there will be a calculator for ramps orders. So they can either simulate on ramps, that means from fiat to crypto, or off ramps from crypto to fiat. So we'll get back a little bit to that. And then basically the idea of that simulation function is that the client can receive in real time the quotes and how much pesos they will get from exchanging an X portion of or X number of USDCs or other digital currencies. And basically with that, the client can proceed at the end to create the purchase order. So basically the purchase order is a similar function than the simulation. Is just to say from which wallet to which bank account the client needs to on-ramp and off-ramp, and then how much, and then to create the simulation. And at the end, the client will just need to wait for a little bit of time to get the money into their bank account or the crypto into the wallet. So that's a very simple process. Kravata is very agile, so our on and off ramps occur in the same day in 95% of the cases. And it's a very seamless interaction. And at the same time, our real-time quoting system also has all the taxes and everything that is involved in the transaction. So there are no hidden fees, no hidden taxes. Everything will be reported in both the simulation and the transactional ledger. So the client knows exactly how much crypto or fiat will receive after using the API. So that's our B2B API.
Wow. Incredible. When talking to businesses, do you ever find yourself having to go over like a learning curve for them to understand exactly what this is? Or yeah, I'm just kind of curious. What's your experience when you pitch this to new businesses?
I think over time they understand more and more. I think that there are, of course, different questions. There are, for example, questions like how they report that under tax systems. These are questions that arise, or where is their money custodied, or what happens if a transaction doesn't arrive. But we have already packed all of those questions, did a lot of research on that with our legal advisors, etc. And now we have the whole suite of frequent asked questions to help them to understand. But the concept of tokenizing more and more, I see more and more understanding on that learning curve.
Yeah. It's just like you said, I think you said it perfectly, the email. There's a clip that's out there. If you haven't seen it, I'll have to share the clip, maybe in the description of this video, of when email was first coming around. And, it's like, in the beginning, how people were so concerned. I don't trust this email. What is this email? And to your point, everybody uses it. They use the rails. You understand it. And it's changed the world. So, Felipe, it's amazing. One, talking to you. You're a breath of information, energy, and it's going to be exciting to see your growth, not only with Kravata, but as a leader in the industry and for LATAM. And it's been a pleasure to learn more about Kravata, what it's offering, as well. It's been a great experience. So thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Sam, for the invitation. I'm looking forward to see you guys in Colombia very soon.
Yeah. And to the last question, if someone is interested in learning more about Kravata, they've sat here and they said, you know what, this is the solution that I'm looking for. What is the best route for them to take?
Sure. They can go and visit our website, kravata.co, or go visiting our social media handle, Kravata Web3, in the different social media platforms.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody, once again for joining us today for the Builder Series. It's been a great talk with Kravata. I hope you learned a little bit. Definitely visit their website, learn more, and we'll make sure that if you have any questions, definitely join our Discord. Build on Circle is our Discord name, discord.gg /build on circle, where if you have any follow-up questions, we'll be happy to share that with their team and get back to you. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Felipe. Thank you, Kravata. And until next time, take care.
Thank you, Sam. Take care.